Thank you so much for joining us today. So we're starting a panel of building real business on BSV Blockchain. My name is Vasilisa Marinchuk. I have several titles right now. My pleasure to be partnerships and communications lead for BSV MENA Hub. So I'm based in Dubai part of my time. My other time is actually here in Barcelona with Central Blockchain of Catalonia, with Democracy for All conference. So it's a pleasure to have all of you here tonight. And we have amazing projects here. I mean, one of them was already speaking here for quite a while, HandCash. And we have two others. So guys, I will pass the word one by one, explain guys, what are you doing? Because some of you really helping the projects to grow. Some of you have some very, very beautiful stories to tell. So I will start with Michał and I will pass you the mic.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Michael. I am the CEO of Soundoshi, and Soundoshi is basically the revolutionary music distribution platform built on top of BSV. So we are working with the top publishers in Poland and soon in the world in order to deliver the existing music in a kind of new way to all of you, and maybe that's enough for start.
I think I already took my time, so I'm gonna.
So I've got one. I'm Jay. I'm the MD of Block Dojo, which is a blockchain incubator in the UK. So we incubate up to 30 companies a year in London, and we're launching in Miami in September as well. So that's
and they
us.
incubated us.
And we incubated them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. So that's a very interesting topic here. So guys, let me ask you a very simple question here. Why did you decide to use BSV? So in this case, I would start with Jay. I mean, Jay, you developing companies on BSV. You chose that as, like, when you're an incubator, you can be more agnostic, but you said, no, guys, I'm going to be developing projects on BSV. Why? What is the difference here?
We got the money for it? No. It was mainly because if you look at BSV, like with the block sizes and with the speed and with the transaction fees, there's no other chain that can do it as well when it comes to enterprise readiness and enterprise solutions. Soundoshi couldn't exist on any other chain. Basically, you couldn't do a distributed music platform on any other solution. You couldn't create half of the companies that we are building at the minute in our incubator on other chains. And the way that we look at it is we build it as the plumbing for the companies. Like, we're not trying to change too much. We're not trying to make it too Web3 focused. It's more of a bridge into Web3 at the minute. So traditional tech companies that have an easy, scalable chain to scale on into Web3 in the future.
All right, and just a simple question again to you, but if somebody in the room want to develop a company and they need to be incubated by you, so what are the steps they have to take? What is the path? Is there anything preliminary, right?
Yeah, well, we like to say just come with an idea and we'll help you to build it. But it is a lot more strict than that, in that our CTO, Robin, will kill you if you've just tried to create a blockchain company without having any idea about how blockchain can actually be relevant to it. You need to know that blockchain has a relevance to what you're doing, or there's a use case for it. If there's no real use case for it, he'll just tell you just to build it normally. Like, you're going to waste your time, money, and energy doing something that's more difficult that doesn't actually need BSV. But if you come with a good idea, if you come, you can come by yourself. We then give you developers to help you build out your solution, but we will literally take your ideas and help you to build a minimum viable product or a minimum viable solution.
So
after
you don't
12
need
weeks.
a CTO when coming to the dojo?
Not necessarily, no. A lot of our companies don't right now.
And just a little bit more about the program, because the program is quite sophisticated. I remember you presented that in Dubai, and I want you to share this vision with the people here as well, because, I mean, they're a little bit closer. It's easier for them to travel to London and enjoy the benefits,
Yeah, we built, the program was built by Craig Massey, who is our chairman, and he's had 5 exits out of 7 businesses. So he had a template for building businesses. One of his best friends is Max Kelly, who is the CEO of Techstars UK. So we've created a program that's kind of like Techstars, but on blockchain, and there's no other incubator that does that. in blockchain, basically. But our program, first, we actually form the companies from scratch. We then give you mentors. For example, we do mentor speed dating. So after week 4, you're coming out with your first advisors in your business. You then get a developer throughout the program. So from week 1, you get a developer who's actually building out your solution in the background as well. We then build your website with you. Our designer will build out your decks, your website, whatever else you need. We'll give you commercial strategy, build your financial models. Basically, when you come out of it, you come out with a business in a box that is completely branded and created to you as a founder.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So let's talk about one of your alumni now. So Michael, please, if you could just explain to us what was your trip with the dojo? How did you get there at all? Did they, seduce you with the big size of blocks, or what happened?
I don't know if it was the big size of blocks or maybe it was the big size of Craig's apartment. Yeah. Yeah. I actually was around BSV before Dojo existed. It's true. Like our experience with the Dojo was amazing. I would say Dojo literally saved us because we were developing some BSV solutions in Poland, struggling to get any traction, trying to get initial investment, failed to do so, and then Dojo, like I would say, appeared on our radar, so we applied immediately, and from then it was just amazing experience. Yeah, we had some troubles and issues at the beginning with the accommodation, and Dojo helped us to solve it, thanks to the Craig Massey. And later on, the program started. It's a complete package that you need to enter this space. So they will provide you with the state-of-the-art technology, all of the stack that is necessary to build what you dream of. They will put you in front of the people that you either need to know in order to get investment, or you need to know in order to scale your business. So yeah, these mentors meetings are super important. And in general, this program is very well structured. So you're coming from the basics of the business and startup world and how to prepare for what's gonna happen to you. Yeah, and you are getting prepared to all different stages of the company existence. So yeah, what else can I add? I always say for us it was a really good mix and balanced mix of the fun and pressure. So exactly what you need to not get burnt at the beginning and still keep your ambitions.
So what about the fundraising? Because I know that the Dojo program at the end, they do these rounds of lunches and dinners with the investors for like a very intense as well. So how was that experience for you?
It was very good. We meet our initial investment goals. So
that worked out for you completely, right?
Yeah, that worked out.
To the most projects, it's working out. So honestly, guys, after this panel, just had to Michael learn about the experience. If you want to run your company, if you want to do it on BSV, for sure, there's the people you can learn from. Finally, let me a little bit talk to Rafa again. So
Hi again.
what about you? You haven't been incubated, so that's your own decision to be on the BSV. And I know why, let's say in general, but let's say how you came to that path. Like, did you evaluate it any other chains, or like what happened? What was the story behind?
Yeah, so the story was, I think it was 2017. We knew about Bitcoin years ago, but it was where we kind of got our hands dirty. And we realized there was many things that had to be improved. So we came up with this first idea of how could we create a wallet that is solving the problems that we see on a daily basis. So how can we improve the backup system? How can we make it easy to send so people don't have to deal with addresses? So people have something like usernames. So we had a bunch of requirements, but then we actually wanted it to work like peer-to-peer electronic cash. So we were looking into the different blockchains and all of these. I think obviously from the branding and marketing perspective, BTC was the most obvious one. And we even built the first prototype on BTC. but we realized it cannot work like cash if we have to pay such a high fees. So obviously it was discarded, and luckily enough, there was this fork from BTC of something called Bitcoin Cash, which still exists. And that was the roadmap and the vision and the idea behind that make a lot of sense to us. So we started building our company using Bitcoin Cash. And then 1 year later, there was another fork for, different, it was like a political fork. Technically, there was many ideas in common, but politically, BSB was the chain of regulation friendly, business friendly, whereas the other side was more like Wild West, and it just didn't work for a business like us. And the same idea still remains, being business friendly, regulation, having clear rules that don't change, and of course, low fees and scalability, right? But in the long run, you also need stability, and you want to make sure that this is going to be business friendly, because you have to deal with regulation, you like it or not. But regulation is there. We live in a world with laws. Of course, there's some laws that we don't like. Of course, there's some governance we don't like. Of course, we don't like paying high taxes and seeing corruption everywhere. But we don't think the world can be changed with technology. Technology is just technology. So we need values and we need all things for society. And I don't want to keep talking about this, but in essence, it has the technical capabilities and also it has the right values for us to build on top of that.
I agree on that. I mean, we all had a very beautiful dream of what the crypto and blockchain can give to us. And I remember very different feelings towards the industry back in 2016 when I just joined, and what was happening in the last years, and even yesterday reflecting on the things, right? So it's going exactly from the wild west when everybody was doing whatever they thought it's going to work for some reason. And then we had to all face the reality. I mean, we have to live in the world which exists. We have to cope with the regulations of the countries we are working in. We cannot just go and say, no, that doesn't matter. We are decentralized. Okay, you're decentralized. That doesn't mean that you don't have responsibilities. That doesn't mean you don't have to cope with the reality. I mean, you can hide for yourself, but then you will never scale, because they will not let you scale. So it's important that when we build in real companies and real business, we take into account all of the risks, all of the opportunities which the world gives us, and we are aligned with what is with the market, basically with the market. And the market includes several players. One of them is the government. Another one is financial system. Our customers, they also want to be protected. That's what we're talking about losing the keys and stuff. Yes, because I mean, if something happens to your bank account, you actually can go to your bank and ask questions. You have people responsible for your accounts. I mean, there are some bad things about that, but there are good things about that. And in the blockchain space, we also have to address that. We cannot just neglect the problems. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. My last question would be to all of you, one by one, literally. So Mihail, anything you can tell to the companies, to developers or entrepreneurs here in the room, to give them an advice, how to start, should they start with the BSV, not, what to look after for, and so on, just some few remarks.
Yeah, so for first, I would say the BSV is the only reasonable place to start right now. The second one, I would advise to apply to the dojo straight ahead. No, but from the founder's perspective, I would say grab someone to your team that shares the same values and ambitions that you have, because nobody is strong or smart enough to lead by themselves. You always need people who surround you. Of course, we have some solo founders in history, but I would say from my perspective, it will get extremely tough. So get your team together, yeah? Like before you enter the road, get your team together. And what else can I say? Like I would advise to right now to focus on more real world, out of the finance solutions. I found it's easier space to enter because all of the crypto is trying to get some financial stuff moving, and some players like HandCash are already very advanced in this area. So of course you can try to compete. good luck. But otherwise, I would try to find something else. We found music, which plays pretty nicely for us, and I would explore the options in non-obvious places. That would be my advice for the founders that want to found something right now.
Thank you. So yeah, basically look for the real problems, solve the real problems, and well, do it together with someone, which is better, right? Thank you. Rafa, from your end?
Yeah, so from me, where obviously I would recommend you to use BSV, as this is what I'm doing, and in my experience, there's nothing else. But of course, you're free to look anywhere else. I think if you're more into short-term projects and speculating and all of this is probably not the best blockchain for that. But of course, everything makes sense, and also you can look into other solutions, compare fees, scaling issues, everything. Just do it by yourself. This is just my recommendation, but it is what it is. And then the second is a few ideas on problems that where the blockchain can be applied, and one of them is payments, of course, but we're already focused on that, so don't compete with us. But the other thing is, what can I do with this new kind of money that was not possible before, and how can I disrupt in existing industries? And then the other very interesting thing is, what can we do or what can we improve if we have transparency? Because at the end of the day, the blockchain is just a transparent technology that brings more efficiency, but that's it. So it's actually up to us to decide how we can squeeze it and what can we take out of blockchain. Again, it's not about decentralization, about replacing governments and anything. It's just an efficient tool to bring transparency and to communicate different parties. And my last one, it would be, if you have any ideas or you have any doubts, you want to know how to get started, I think the BSV community is very open. You can talk to any other entrepreneur. You can go to Dojo. You can do, there's more investors, of course. So I think you're gonna be very soon that you are in family. So don't be scared to just jump in.
Thank you, Rafa. And so basically, yeah, remember that blockchain is not only finance, it's not only Bitcoin as its own self, it's not only crypto. So look for the problems outside, and there are a lot of them, and we can solve them, we can help to make it better. So finally, Jay, I kept you for the last one because you're probably the one who should inspire right now everyone so that we fly away from here full of ideas. So a word to you.
I think for me, it's the main thing is don't overthink it. When you do come up with a business, don't try and be too complex. Simplicity is probably the best thing in the beginning until you understand your market well enough to understand what they need. That's probably the best way to get going. Also, don't worry about competitors or people stealing ideas or having ideas that people already have. I mean, if you look at, say, in the UK, Revolut, Monzo, Starling Bank, all of them are exactly the same business. They just market themselves in different ways. That's all it is. It's the same. They all use MasterCard technology. They don't do different things. They market themselves as doing different things. That's it. That's literally it. So if you come up with a better way to market what you do and create a brand around what you do, people can buy into that. So don't worry too much about trying to take on the big boys. That doesn't matter either. And then finally, I think is, if you're going to build on BSV or build on blockchain right now, look at what's happening in Web 2 and try and create a business that can be acquired by Web 2 pretty quickly. If you disrupt someone that's in Web 2 right now and you do something better than them and they get pissed off with you, you're going to get an exit pretty quickly. So you're better off trying to target them and tackling that right now, because they will come after you, but in a good way, because they don't know how to build in Web 3 right now. And that would be my advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jay is right about the simplicity, about the focus you should have. Yeah, so you should be focused on the customers, and you should be focused about your responsibility towards your customers. So this is where BSV comes, yeah, because BSV secures the interest of our customers, basically the best in the market. But at the same time, these people you're approaching, like existing businesses, you want to, all of the crypto space want existing businesses to jump into the place, yeah? There are conservative people and I would say older people in charge of these companies, yeah? They need to understand the values and what you are gonna deliver to them, and they really can't comprehend some complex outpayment systems that crypto is delivering to them, this DeFi stuff. It's far too complicated, so I highly advise to keep things simple, yeah, and to keep things reasonable and similar to what Jay said. What we have on the market, Soundoshi is doing exactly that. So we are just doing the compact discs on chain.
Perfect.
And
Don't
it's
invent
simple.
the bicycle, guys. It's already there. Just use it, you know. That's it. Thank you very much, the panelists. I hope you enjoyed the panels, the keynotes, that you learned something new today. There's some more drinks to still have, some music to enjoy, and some good networking. Approach our speakers. They are very open. As they said, BSV is a very big family. There's literally not always when you can find so much support within the community. It's growing. You can be part of it. We welcome you and thank you.